My name is Benton Stokes. I'm a former fundamentalist, post-evangelical worship leader, and songwriter. I enjoy wry Manhattans, roller coasters, and road trips, just not all at the same time.
I'm Elaine O'Rourke, and I'm a teacher, an author, and a spiritual coach. I was a philosophy professor and a liberal pastor in a couple of former lives, and these days, I love aha moments and not-so-dry martinis.
We have conversations about life and God with a queer perspective, over cocktails, like you. This is Cocktail Theology. So what is the murky mocktail we're trying today?
It is the month of the murk. So this is a peach shrub with basil and tonic water.
Ooh, okay. I like the idea of basil and peach together.
I like the idea of it too.
Let's try it.
Right track, wrong train, I think. Like,
I've never heard that expression.
You haven't?
How
long have we known each other?
I don't know.
I can't believe I've never said it before. Yeah, what do you think? Let me hear your perspective on this.
I feel like it could have a little more bite.
Yeah, I put quite a lot. So it's peaches and rice vinegar and water and sugar. That's the shrub.
Okay.
And the proportions were roughly normal. I wound up adding a significant amount more rice vinegar because rice vinegar is really mild.
Maybe that's what I'm missing.
Yeah, there's something not quite right about it, aside from the murkiness. I think I'd like to try making the shrub again, but making it with a different vinegar.
Okay.
I'm not sure what. I'll have to explore that one a little bit.
Well, too, for our listeners, this has Schweppes tonic water in it as well, which if you changed out the tonic water, it might affect the flavor too. If you got like a Fever Tree Mediterranean tonic water, for instance, would add something different.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I want to do it again. And so we muddled basil in it. And I added a basil leaf to our glasses to get it more aromatics.
I like the aromatics of it, yeah.
If I do this again, I think I want to try it again.
Yeah, let's try it again.
I want to put basil in the shrub so it gets some of that going before you ever get it to the basil leaf.
I think that's a great idea.
So different vinegar, basil actually in the shrub.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still good, but it's not...
It's still really good. We've played around with shrubs before, but it's been a while. And I've never had a peach shrub, so this is nice.
No, I like the concept is really good. I like the peach shrub idea. Okay. All right, now wait, hold on. I'm going to sit and think very seriously about the shrub.
Are you going to picture it?
I'm going to picture the shrub. I'm going to imagine myself making the shrub. I'm tasting it mentally, being thrilled by the outcome, and I'm going to do this every day in the morning before I brush my teeth, because that would be gross, until that shrub exists.
All right. I like
so what are we talking about today?
I like where you're going with this. We're talking about manifesting today. What is manifesting? What's the difference between manifesting and praying? I Googled manifesting because I sort of know what it is, but I wanted to see what Dr. Google said.
Oh, Dr.
Google says that manifesting is the practice of using focused thought and intention to bring desired outcomes into reality, often associated with the law of attraction. It involves aligning one's thoughts, feelings, and actions with a specific goal, believing that this alignment can attract the desired result. While some view it as a spiritual practice, others approach it from a psychological perspective, emphasizing the power of positive thinking and goal-oriented action.
Well, thank you, Dr. Google.
Thank you, Dr. Google.
Okay. So when you, I mean, I know I was making fun of it a moment ago, but it was so much fun with peach shrub to talk about manifesting peach shrub.
It definitely was.
But that said, so when you've heard of it before, what is that idea conjured up for you?
Well, when I read this description of what it is, it made me think of when I was younger. we refer to it as name it and claim it movement within certain evangelical sects.
Right.
And basically what that was this. And it was this foundationally girded by the idea that God wants good things for God's children.
Okay.
So if you manifested, in big old scare quotes, a BMW, and you did what we're talking about, you pictured it, you pictured yourself in it, you pictured, taking your spouse on a drive on the one in your BMW with the top down, whatever. You picture all this, and you believe that God wants you to have that BMW because God desires good things for God's children.
Okay.
It's kind of like that. You picture it, you act as though you're moving toward it.
Right.
And you believe that God wants you to have it.
So there's some prosperity gospel stuff in there.
Exactly. Okay. Prosperity gospel. Yes.
Okay. All right. So it has some of that. Okay.
So that's one of the things that I thought of. And then I know that manifesting has become popular, picturing yourself thinner, picturing yourself more athletic, or picturing yourself in the south of France having a glass of wine. Like, you're picturing these things and willing them into existence by moving toward them. Like, to me, it's sort of like vision board, but vision board...
Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Vision board is one of those things that keeps your goals in front of you all the time.
Right.
And vision boards, I think, can be really effective. But it's kind of like that, but way more than that. That's sort of my take.
Okay. When The Secret came out, the book The Secret, and it was so popular, and I admit, I fully confess I never read it.
I've never read it.
Yes, but what I was about to say is I still am able to roll my eyes about it without having read it. I confess that my eye rolling has nothing to do with my having read the book. That said, I did research about where their ideas came from and what all that came from. And actually, it's this idea in its specific form, the idea of the law of attraction, quote unquote, the law of attraction. It's actually quite a bit older than The Secret.
Okay.
That notion of manifesting is literally your mind is stronger than you think it is. And a well-trained mind, trained on a thing, will cause that thing, it's a butterfly wing thing, right? It'll cause that thing to move closer and you to move closer to it. There's this kind of pseudo physics thing going on. Okay. And I say pseudo only because it's pretty tenuous, right? Yeah. That connection between mind and physical matter that's a tough one. Yeah. But that's the idea. Okay. So there's some of this actual physical notion in it as well. Okay. Or if I were manifesting meeting my perfect lover, then if I were really doing it properly, then that person would also experience that, something. It would be like there's some thing going into the cosmos, not even that far, into the ozone, reaching out. You know what I mean, right? Yeah. But there's this notion of it was tied into a combination of psychology and physics. Okay. Which is different than the name and claim it piece. It sounds like it's a prayer thing as well. Should you be praying for the BMW at the same time?
I think that's how they spiritualize it.
Got it. So, Lord, give me a BMW if it's your will, and I'm sure it is because you love me.
Yeah, and even more like, God, I know you want me to have this BMW because you want good things for your kids.
Huh. Okay. Who might argue with that? I have to. I admit I have to kind of watch my own cynicism about God wants us to be rich, and I know that some of my cynicism about it is growing up with the idea that one's humility is valuable. One's, if not poverty, then sufficiency is valuable, that kind of thing. I'm willing to believe that that is a cultural construct rather than a commandment. It might take some argument, but I'm willing to think that maybe I'm wrong about that. Okay. So I'm going to set aside my cynicism about praying for a BMW, but that's the idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got the manifesting that is literally there's some connection between mind and matter, and those things connect. You've got the idea that if you pray for it and trust that God wants it for you, it will appear in your life. And then there's what Dr. Google was talking about, which was the mental value of picturing a thing, continuing to stay in that mode of it so that you are in fact training yourself to think, both to think about it, but also if it's something like achieving a particular goal, when you think about yourself achieving it, it drives you towards that goal.
Yes.
All right, so I can go along with the mental one. I think mental attitude really does affect how we do.
Oh, I think so too.
I'm not sure that my getting up and picturing a BMW every day and really wanting a BMW will get me a BMW. I do think that where your treasure is, there your heart will be.
And that's the thing that I keep coming back to, is that it seems like if I thought God wanted me to have a BMW, that I might make some questionable financial choices to have the BMW, because I would think that on the back end, God would bless me, provide for me, etc. So if God wants me to have the BMW, maybe, I don't pay a bill this month.
Right.
And trust that that'll be taken care of. You know what I mean? I don't know. It also makes me think of like pastors of mega churches that have private planes and things like that, and they have exorbitant salaries and things like that. And so I feel like some of that is justified by, well, God wants us to have nice things.
Right.
Do I think God wants me to have nice things? Well, sure, but not at the expense of taking care of my responsibilities, not at the expense of living up to my word, not at the expense of making sure, I have food on the table and the people I care about are taken care of. It's not at the expense of those things.
Okay.
To me, that's the dangerous part of that whole prosperity gospel thing.
All right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that if we are fixed on a particular outcome, we will make choices to make that outcome happen. And when that outcome is shored up under the God wants that outcome more than God wants the other things, then we can really dump important other things in order to have that outcome. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'm there on that.
Right.
I'm there on that. Okay. It also reminds me of, so I knew this woman who ran a ministry to the homeless in Berkeley, and she was really crunchy. Lots of things. But one of the things that she was absolutely committed to was that it was wrong to have a car because it was bad for the earth, all those kinds of things. Okay. All good.
Yeah.
No problems with that.
Yeah.
She bummed more rides than anybody I've ever known in my life. And so it was like, okay, so really what this is you don't want to have the expense of a car.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to deal with a car.
And you don't want to feel guilty for owning a car that puts pollutants in the air, even though you're asking other people to put pollutants into the air so that you can get where you need to go.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
So I think she was, I think if you had talked to her about it, she was taking a very moral, ethical based stance. She was, I think this wasn't the language she would have used because it was a little bit before this became popular, but she would have felt like she was manifesting goodness for the earth. And it's like, well, sure.
But are you though?
But are you? But are you? So there's that kind of thing as well, right?
Yeah.
There's this false trade-off that happens, right? The number of people who can't get the job they want, so they'd rather not work. This is often happens with younger people, right?
Yeah.
I came out of college and I can't get the job I trained for, so I'm going to live at home and eat cereal. It's like, no, you're going to get up off your sorry butt and at least sweep around the house. Thank you very much. My kid's got like 6 months left. But yeah, so there's that piece as well. Okay, so there's that.
Yeah.
So I'm in on the vision board. I'm in on the, well, it's, it's that whole thing that you've got to, if you want to achieve something, anything, you've got to have a vision. You've got to have intention. You've got to have means, and you've got to keep committing to it that decision over and over and over again. That's where the manifesting really gives you values. It's got both the vision and the decision over and over again.
And the work.
Right. And the work. So that's all there too. I want to get back to the praying to God. I have trouble distinguishing between honest prayer for something and imagining that God is a vending machine. And this is all about me. This is all about, I'm not sure I understand the difference. I'm not sure I really have hold of praying with trust, honoring the power and the goodness and the glory of God. Like the trust of that versus assuming that if I pray for something, God will give it to me.
Yeah.
And I have trouble with that. And I don't know how to tease that apart. My problem. I don't know how to tease my trouble with it apart.
Well, and I have trouble with it too. I know that for myself, I have trouble praying for things. Not like things I need.
Okay.
But also, I trust that God will provide those things. So, like, I don't have to pray every day, God, give me food to eat today.
Okay.
Because I know that I have the means to buy food. I know that food is in our home. I know that food is at my job. I know that I will eat and I won't go hungry.
Right.
So I don't pray for food.
Right. There's no desperation for food.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's nothing that I feel desperate about that I would pray for in the way of a material thing. So like, I don't feel desperate for new shoes, or I don't feel desperate for a trip to Spain. I don't feel desperate for these things, so I don't pray for those things. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't want them. It doesn't mean that I, won't work toward having them or put the money aside. But I'm not asking God for those things. And that's just, I have a hard time praying for things. Like I can pray good things for other people, but praying those kinds of things for myself is just something I've always had a
Would you
difficult
pray
time
for
with.
new shoes for someone?
For someone else if I thought they needed them.
But need is different.
Need is different.
Need is different.
Not because they want them,
that's an
but
important
because
piece.
they need them.
Right.
Yeah.
No one needs a BMW.
Exactly. And that's the thing that I have trouble with.
Okay.
If you're praying for a BMW, you don't need a BMW. You may need a mode of transportation, but that's not a BMW.
Right.
That's, God, just provide me any means of transportation because I need to be able to get to and from work or get my kids to and from school or whatever. But a BMW is a different kind of thing.
Okay. Let's stay with that for a minute.
Yeah.
So suppose I needed transportation to get myself to and from work. If I prayed for reliable transportation, that would be okay.
Yes.
I mean, and I don't mean morally okay, but I mean, it wouldn't hit the BMW.
Not at all.
Okay. So if I prayed for reliable transportation, if I prayed for reliable transportation that was not dependent on someone else's schedule.
Sure.
Okay. If I prayed for reliable transportation that wasn't dependent on somebody else's schedule that I could afford.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm thinking there are multiple ways to have all those things that are not dependent upon one particular object fulfilling them.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So there's something about allowing some space, if you will, for God to provide in a way that I maybe don't see at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm willing to go with that. Suppose I were to pray for all those things and say, and I really love I don't know any models of BMW, but I really love the blah, 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 blah. Jaguars I could give you, but BMWs I can't. So I really love the blah, blah, blah. If it's your will to give me all those things and it happens to be in BMW, I'm not sending it back and leaving you, Lord.
I mean, that's fine. I think God has a sense of humor about these things.
But would that be praying for the BMW?
Yeah, it would kind of seem like you were praying for the BMW.
Okay. So if I have a BMW on my vision board, and I am really imagining myself in the BMW on the one top down, I've forgotten what all you said, but I'm praying for reliable blah, 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 blah. How's that?
That's fine, because you can set that as a goal and you can work toward it by saving the money or doing whatever to get there. But if that's the thing you're holding out for and God provides you with a 78 Maverick, what are you going to do?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say, God, I was looking for reliable.
Yeah.
But I hear your point.
See?
I take your point.
And then I think what happens then when you're disappointed with the outcome, God didn't give you the thing you prayed for. God gave you the thing you needed, but not the thing you wanted.
Ooh. Stupid God.
Right?
Okay. All right. So that goes back to the Bible thing. So that goes back to the where your treasure is, there your heart will be. And I think that that's a really important thing for all of us to remember.
Yes.
That whatever it is we treasure, whatever it is we value, that's where we will put our effort. That's where we'll put our minds. So I think there's also the not lying to yourself and not lying to God. The fact is if you want the BMW, your heart's set on the BMW, and you're praying for this other thing, you're essentially lying to God and to yourself.
Wow. Yeah. I hadn't thought about it that way.
That I find that a problem.
Yeah, that is a problem.
Like, I think I would rather have someone pray for the BMW than have their heart set on BMW and pray for reliable transportation, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I see that.
Because it's so disingenuous, right? And what it does is it pits your understanding of God and yourself against this. It becomes a test. God, if you don't give me the BMW, you weren't really listening to my humility.
See, yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah, that's the underside of the prosperity gospel. Because then you end up, God let you down. I mean, what do you do with that?
Right.
You know?
Right.
I think if I'm idolizing the car and praying for necessary transportation, I mean, really, the prayer needs to be, God, I'm idolizing this car. Help me not idolize this car. Ooh. I want reliable transportation, and I want to trust you to provide me with what I need. And the thing that I want, I recognize that is not what I need.
It's idolatry.
It's idolatry.
Boom!
Mic drop. Thanks for listening.
No. All right, I need to say one more thing about that, though. Before we say thanks for listening, although thank you for listening, truly. Okay. So there's something about integrity of spirit, integrity of thought, integrity of that, where you're being honest with God and having some humility about what it is you need, want, and how God provides.
Yes. Yes.
And the other side of that, when we go into the prayer piece of that, is I've heard way too often, you didn't pray right, you didn't pray hard enough, you didn't pray whatever. That's the other side of this whole thing, right?
Yes, it is.
So if you're manifesting the BMW, and it's the same for manifesting, right? If you're manifesting the BMW and the BMW doesn't show up, well, you didn't do it.
You didn't do it right.
You just didn't do it right.
Yeah, right.
Right, because that pastor in Texas whose initials are J.O. manifested his thing, and he got his thing, and he does it right.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, they're not the same.
They're not the same.
Okay. Well, we're clear. Listeners?
What do you think? CocktailTheology.com is where we are. We love ideas. Give us ideas, questions, ponderings, etc. And also ideas for mocktails and cocktails.
Always.
Always. Love to hear from you.
Very much. All right. I need to go back and try and make this thing again.
Okay. I'll taste it again.
Will you?
I will.
Oh, thanks.
Until next time.
Bye.
Funny how the view can change, how life just seems to rearrange itself, no matter what it was. I don't know how it goes, but look, moving on feels pretty good. Moving on feels pretty good.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like and hit subscribe wherever you're listening right now. We welcome your comments, questions, and ideas for conversations and for cocktails. Please get in touch with us at our website, cocktailtheology.com. Cocktail Theology is a production of SFS. Our theme song is Moving On Feels Pretty Good, recorded by yours truly, Benton Stokes. You can find my music wherever you stream your favorite artists. Join us next Thursday for another new episode.